You know this girl, well, I thought she was a, this holier than thou church girl, but the way she twerks on Fridays, my friend, I can't believe it. What's up, everyone? It's another episode that we are going to be talking about a couple of things. Today, we're just focusing on relationships again. And today, I want us to talk about something which I am very fond of, the stages of a relationship. Various people have come up with different stages according to their understanding. Some are professionals who have probably specialized on this. In my experience, I have also come up with 5 stages in a relationship that I feel I could share with you today. The first stage is the introduction stage. This is usually the part where you meet someone, the first instances of maybe social media meeting or face-to-face, maybe out there, maybe as a colleague, or maybe you're in a new environment and you meet this young lady or young beautiful lady, or you meet this good-looking guy and everything. This stage has a lot of fire. There's a spark that is there. You start flirting with each other. You spend a lot of time texting, chatting, and appreciating each other. At this stage, you usually see the best of each other because of the physical attraction which is there and the emotional connection that is slowly developing. You always see the good thing in this particular person. You don't see so much flaws in this person, because in your heart and in your mind you are creating this conviction that this is the one. So the introduction stage is just flirtatious. Talk about their family, their job, their education, their experiences, the likes and the dislikes and all that. But this stage is slowly taking you to the next stage. The honeymoon stage or the romance stage, you have already showed the interest, the intentions are there, you have already said that you want each other, or maybe the guy has already posed the question that, will you be my girlfriend? If it's the girl, she has already said, will you be my boyfriend? And because, it was obvious, I mean, you guys like each other so much, now you dive into the pool of dating. This stage, you are in love. There's just so much beauty in your relationship. Everything is just okay. You go for outings. You spend a lot of time together. You plan things together. At this stage, you're even planning on how you're going to spend the rest of your lives together. You're sharing your dreams and ambitions, and it's just perfect. However, that does not last long. Sadly, it does not last long. The honeymoon stage doesn't last long. This is actually the shortest stage in a relationship, because mostly you have already exhausted the introduction. You know so much about each other, and now you get to enjoy each other's presence and time and romance together. And then the next stage just comes. The next stage is actually quite fascinating. It's actually where many of the relationship stall. It's a very slow stage. I actually don't have a very good name for this stage. I just call it the realization stage or the painful truth stage. Now, at this stage, you have already known each other. You have gotten a chance to spend time together. You understand a few things or quite a lot about each other now. And then, because of spending so much time together, you start realizing there are things about this person that you actually don't like. You see, no one is perfect. That's the truth. No one is perfect. And in as much as the introduction stage and the romance stage will give you this impression that everything is okay, no one is perfect. And it is the realization stage that puts you there, makes you see things that you had not previously seen. Some things which were not said before, they start now revealing themselves even without any of the partners saying anything. So now when you start realizing, hey, could I have made a mistake? So now you're trying to put up with something that you are not comfortable with. You're not comfortable about this particular person's probably code of conduct, the way he talks now, the way she does things. maybe you have come to realize maybe he's not as proactive as you thought he was. Maybe this lady, for some reason you thought she was holier than thou, and then you realize, wait a minute, no, she's actually not that kind of a person. Maybe you met at a church event or whatever. You had painted this particular picture about this person, and then you are disappointed. The painful truth of this other person comes. The fourth stage is also another painful stage. I can call it painful because it is a breakup stage. A lot of fighting in the relationship. You don't seem to agree on so many things. All of a sudden, the spark that was there is no more. The phone calls are no longer coming through as they used to come. Those text messages take long to be replied because you are now starting to have a weird understanding about this person now. So the breakup stage is where you reach the peak and you're like, you know what, no, this is not what I want. Even petty things, very petty things can just cause, initially you couldn't afford, but now because you know each other and there's quite a lot that you are considering whether you should put up with, or in your mind you are convinced, actually I made a mistake and I need someone else, and you end up breaking up. In this stage also, there's makeup. When you break up, sometimes people who are really in love, sometimes they really try to move on, and maybe one of the partners is not willing to move on. Even in marriage, at this particular stage, people really try. Some separate for some time, or even try to go through with that divorce, but one of the partners is not willing to sign the papers, they're not willing to let go and all that. And then somehow along the way, maybe after a year or so, or maybe a few months, they get back together. But you see, this is what I usually say. Getting back with someone that you are dating is like watching a movie that you have watched before. You know how it begins, all the scenes, you know the characters, you now have the dialogues, you know how it's gonna end. There are people who break up like so many times in their relationship. You break up this week, next week you get back together. 2 months later, you're broken up again. That stage, there's a fight in between you. There's a fight of acceptance. I just mentioned the next stage. The next stage is acceptance. Acceptance stage or stability stage is usually whereby you have, you have just accepted. He's mine, she's mine. You know everything about each other and you have accepted it. You are okay with it. This guy does not like taking shower when it's cold, so you'll go for a week without taking shower and you are okay with it. This girl eats a lot of food and you're okay with it. This guy is a lazy guy. He does not like working so much. He just does small jobs here just to keep him going. As far as at the end of the month he has paid some, rent, taken you out, bought you a gift, and is comfortable. And you are okay with it. This girl, well, I thought she was this holier than thou church girl, but the way she twerks on Fridays, my friend, I can't believe it. And you are okay with it. And you decide, it's okay. I accept you the way you are. And the stability stage usually will lead to something quite solid and quite permanent. If you are not married, you are just dating, chances are it is at this stage where the guy would propose, or the girl. Nowadays, even the girl can propose, and you get married. If you are married and you have had this breaking up, at this stage, you have accepted it. You are like, what, let's just stay together, let's raise a family, it's okay, no problem. However, the tricky part is that many relationships do not survive the breakup stage. After the breakup, we go separate ways, I go and look for another person. She goes away and finds another guy. These stages apply in every relationship. You will move from one relationship thinking that this is not working, go to another relationship, it will start from stage 1. Chances are it will take you all the way to the breakup stage again. And because you are not a fighter, you are the person who, after the breakup, it's gone, you move your separate ways. Again, you break up that relationship, you won't try to fight for it, move to another relationship, start from stage 1, It will again take you to the breakup stage until it reaches a point you're like, all men are the same. All women are like this. Come on. If you try to actually work things out with the first one, that particular one, the one that you felt was hard, maybe that could be the one relationship that could have worked for you. However, I'm not saying you get stuck in a relationship that is not working out, but if you find something you can live with, no one is perfect, but you can find a balance, you can strike a balance. If there are things you have come to realize during the realization stage, work out those things together. You do not necessarily have to break up. You can just stabilize yourself and work out a plan that can take your relationship to stability level without necessarily having to break up. So basically those are my 5 stages of a relationship, some of which has applied to me as well. Anyway, that's it for now, and I wish you all the best in your relationships. Just try. It's okay, no problem. There's no relationship which is perfect. Even the ones which are being advertised on social media. Don't compare. Just work your relationship the best way you can. All the best, and I'll see you again next week with another episode of something different. Thank you so much. Peace.